Hey guys, it's Reki, and I'm back with May again, and we're here today to talk to you about forests. And the reason I want to talk to you about forests is because I just did a tutorial video for you on line of sight, and forests are a perfect example of how line of sight works. If you pay attention, you'll notice that all of these trees here are in the light, and all of this area is in the light. However, all of this is dark. This is what makes forests so dangerous. As you move, the trees block your ability to see things. Not only are you hindered by the fact that if you turn away, the line of sight, which is here, prevents you from seeing behind you, but the trees also cast shadows, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So if I go over here, I cannot see back here. This tree is casting a shadow that is blocking at least part of this area. If I go around this tree, I can now see all the way back down here because there are no trees down this trench. However, if I come back around, this tree is blocking, these trees are blocking. If I cut these trees down, which I'm going to do, this one should take about 5 hits. Did you see how it opened up this area and suddenly this is all lit up? And that will continue to expand as I continue to cut these trees down. Now, what makes forests so dangerous is that not only do they block line of sight and prevent you from being able to see what's among them, but zombies can hide in them. And the only way you can tell if a zombie is hiding in one is if you see a tree shake, which luckily at the moment we have not actually seen. Now, one thing to note about shaking objects. If a window is shaking, if a door is shaking, if a tree is shaking, that often will indicate that there's a zombie on the other side of it. However, in this game, the characters' imaginations can play tricks on them, especially if they do not have one of two traits. One of them is the trait that comes with being a veteran, and I'm very sorry, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is, but it prevents the character from ever being afraid. The other is a trait that you can take at the start of the game, which I really highly recommend that you take, and it's called Brave. And it prevents your character from panicking in situations where they would normally be frightened. Otherwise, if you don't have one of those two traits, you will sometimes see a zombie and you'll get an open mouth debuff over here saying that your character is frightened, and when they are frightened, they are less effective in combat, which is not what you want when you're facing zombies down. So those are two things to keep in mind, that, you may see a tree shaking and it often means there's a zombie behind it, but that doesn't necessarily mean there actually is a zombie behind it. Your imagination could be playing tricks on you. I'm going to go around here and I'm going to cut down a few more of these trees because, as you can see, this whole area is dark from this side of the fence. And over here is where I currently have a safe house. I'm using the fire department, and Rosewood is my safe house, and it's an excellent selection because it's fenced all the way to here, and I only have to really fence this front side and possibly the left side of it. I have to take a look and double check that, but because it has this metal fence around it, if I can get some player construction up, I should stop zombies from respawning in that area. I need the wood to do that, so I'm cutting down trees, but also I cannot see from this side of the fence to this road because all of these trees are blocking line of sight. So there's more than one reason why it's often good to cut down forests. Another good reason is if you can get a few feet away from whatever your perimeter fence, or the location of your perimeter fence, it'll give you some warning. If a zombie steps out of the tree line, you will have open space to see them in, whereas if they're hiding in the trees, you're in trouble. Another thing to notice, certain directions, trees are invisible because they are made invisible so that you can still see the character and what they are doing. This also means that zombies can be invisible for the same reason. If they're in invisible trees, you're likely to get a real shock if one of them jumps out at you. So that's another short tutorial. Hopefully it helps you understand line of sight a little bit better, and it also gives you some insight into how forests work and why you might want to get rid of them. Another thing to note, you'll notice I'm taking trees from the perimeter of the property and not from the center, and that's because in here the zombies might be clustered and hiding. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.